This is really beautiful to experience. These are what I call eternal blessings when you experience through another communicator um, sharing with you or sharing with us. And this particular YouTube channel is called Awaken Insight. And this gentleman was sharing this morning, and I naturally gravitate to those things that represent, if you will, love and service to others, wisdom. And there was a particular point that he made about a friend that he has about what it means to agree or disagree, which is known as an argument between computer terminals. That's how we translate the language, which are the codes, which are the math codes, which again really goes back to my childhood about realizing I keep my mouth shut because I realize that there's your journey, there's my journey. You're aware of what you're aware of. Okay. There's what you believe and there's what I believe. There's what you know and there's what I know. Okay. Now we're back to the teacher. Now we're back to the student, which means we're in a state of learning because we're learning through our mirrors, everything that is in our mirror that represents creation. So when you are in love with what you are in love with the mirror that represents what's in that mirror, which is everything that's been created that you become aware of, that is in that mirror, that is communicating who they are with who you are or who I am. Right? So Occam's razor, which is the law of least effort, there's got to be a genius or higher intelligence in knowing when you have a relationship by virtue of experiencing it as a teacher, what eternal love is, you know the relationship you therefore have with that energy. So I've always known the greatest teacher is the highest intelligence, which is the highest driver of creativity, if you will, because it's like a circle of light. It keeps on spiraling, going on and on and on and on and on. And you can see that in real life, particularly in these islands, when you see an old rust, what we used to call rust buckets, particularly in the islands because of all the salt water, how much living energy there is on this island, right? That, for example, I had a vehicle that went down on me at a place I was living with right down the road, and you can't see it anymore. And it didn't take very long before you couldn't see it anymore because everything just grew through it and over. And where'd it go? It's still there, but you can't see it anymore because everything is growing so fast. That's a lot of life force energy. So you know that love, which is living light, loves to grow a universe by the way and manner and form in which those colors, which is the visual mathematics, appear in your mirror, how change is taking place that fast. Right? So when you're experiencing it with an eternal love vibration in your heart because you're one, which means there isn't any separation between the FM frequency modulation of a crystal spiral radio set, then it means that you're in balance, right? With one, which is the center point of a cross, which is the center point of creation from which it starts with what love is, which is a vibration. And when you experience that, it's simple. It's as simple as it gets. Okay, because you realize that if you're in love with the energy that you are because you're experiencing what love is within you, then you're naturally sharing it with others without having to think about it because that's the energy that you are in your. That's a high-speed torque converter. That's a high-speed magnetic drive. And that's your shield. That's your volcanic shield spinning, a galactic tornado. That's your protection, and that's what allows you to protect others in love and service to others, to build a thriving community at a very high rate of speed, which means it's not going to take very long to build a community where everybody's experiencing what love is, and then imagine the level of drive motor to the creative side of who you are with that much energy, which is that much love. That is the most powerful torque accelerator there is in the entire creation. I know that because I've experienced that. That's why I don't use it here. Because you realize at this density how it is they ended up in 3D as a result of technology transfer. Okay? Because that's what they do. They copy from us. You can see it everywhere, all around you. Okay? They don't live in a natural world. Otherwise, they'd be giving love to everything in Mother Nature. Gaia's motherboard. Okay. They're inverted. Because their perception of power is seen through the accumulation of energy from others. So you know that they're the least powerful of all creation. That's why they're at the bottom of the heap. That's why they call it the underworld, like underwear, dirty, which is dirty electricity. Okay, which means their blood has not been purified, running a hot mirror to purify their spirit that is in that light. That's the simplicity of it. It simply means they're not running as fast. Their drive motor, their magnetic drive, which represents their soul consciousness, integrated with their spirit. Right? So in order to get a girl up out of negative magnetic space, what are we going to do? We're going to heal her, get her speed up. Come on, mama. You know, this goes all the way back to the mid-1960s. Come on, mama. I was in San Francisco doing this, putting my hands up just like I am like this. Come on, mama. Let's get it up. Let's get it up, baby. Come on, come on, come on. So when you're living your life in love and service to others, she's experiencing you doing that. She's in love with what you're doing because she is what love is, just as I am what love is. So we share that through our heart and soul together on our motherboard. That helps crank up the drive motor of the motherboard, the higher octave. Yeah, mama, let's get it up. Let's balance the poles, girl. So people are living in peace, love, harmony, and balance. Because the energies, the waveform harmonics are in balance with each other. That means our consciousness that are communicating with each other are in peace, love, harmony, and balance with each other because we're loving the energy. That's the ley line energy, right? Filling the ley lines up an enormous amount of magnetic light, which is living light, which is what love is. That's the world we come from. That's why when I was a child, I thought I'm not supposed to experience anything less than what I am, which is what love is. It goes on forever. That's my home world. Those are the worlds we live in. Those are the worlds we create because that's the energy that we use to create it with. You know, it doesn't get any more simple than that, right? So when you realize that a goddess or a god or anybody in all of creation that you know started with what you are, which is what love is, and now you're experiencing a difference in them and you as a result of the loss of voltage in them, you want to heal them, which means you want to return to the real universe from which you come that was created out of what love is because you're experiencing something that isn't what love is in them. And that comes to the core foundation of what it means to have compassion and empathy. I cried this morning. It's easy for me to cry if I think about certain things that are held in my memory of what I've experienced as a result of those experiences because you realize you're connected with everything that is experiencing itself that you're connected with. So you're experiencing the trauma that is held in memory in them, right? And that causes my heart and soul to cry like the tears of a turtle, right? Because you realize what happened to them. Right? Just like when Bear Clan put up some pictures on my timeline of what happened to those beautiful souls. And these were young women and teenagers, what look like by their age, although I don't consider age, their spirit and their soul. What happened to them? They were killed, murdered, and then dumped like their lives didn't matter in a garbage, a landfill in Winnipeg. Okay, these are evil beings. Okay, I mean, it goes to show you, even within the ranks of their own law enforcement, that they don't even have enough love or compassion or empathy for the lives of others, that they would even consider having that much respect and honor to honor somebody's family member and to have somebody who wears a badge who works on law enforcement, not to honor that. Demonstrates what? They have no honor. So they need to have those badges ripped right off their uniforms and replaced by people that care. They're going to do their job, which means they're not even doing their job. So when I was a kid growing up, I used to call them, they're worthless.